Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us.
Excited to be here.
Today we're going to be looking into the world of AI,
Oh, yeah.
artificial intelligence.
It's everywhere these days.
It really is, and we found this fascinating documentary on YouTube called,
Documentario Intelligentsia Artificial.
yeah, that's the one.
That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful.
No.
I'm glad you're here to help me pronounce it.
Well, my Portuguese is a little rusty, but we'll get through it.
Close enough.
And this documentary is awesome. It features all sorts of experts,
Yeah.
sociologists, tech innovators, the whole gamut.
And you know what I thought was really interesting about this documentary is how it digs into the real world impact that AI is having.
Right.
Not just the theoretical stuff, but like,
Exactly. Yeah, it goes beyond the hype and the science fiction and shows how AI is already shaping our lives.
like in ways we don't even realize.
Yeah. Like right now, as we speak.
Yeah, it's not just some far off future thing.
Right.
This documentary shows how AI is being used right now.
Like, for instance, they highlight how AI is being used to map lung damage from COVID-19
Oh, wow.
with incredible precision.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, and it's transforming the financial markets,
Oh, yeah, I've read about that.
boosting productivity in all kinds of industries and revolutionizing fields like agriculture and medicine.
It's really mind-blowing when you stop and think about how much AI is already woven into our daily lives.
Absolutely.
Like you said, just now it's happening right now.
Right.
And,
And the thing is, this is just the beginning.
yeah.
It's only going to get more pervasive.
Now, one thing that I thought was really helpful in this documentary is that they break down the different types of AI
Yeah.
that are emerging.
Right.
Can you maybe walk us through some of those key concepts?
Sure. So they talk about predictive AI and generative AI.
Okay, those are two terms that I've heard, but I don't really fully understand them.
Yeah. So predictive AI is all about forecasting the future,
Okay,
like predicting what you might buy online next or what the traffic will be like on your way home.
so like trying to guess what's going to happen based on what it already knows.
Exactly. It's all about patterns and probabilities.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, generative AI is a bit different.
Okay.
This type of AI actually creates new things,
Oh, wow.
like text, images, videos, even code.
Really?
Think about tools like ChatGPT,
Oh, yeah.
DLE, Midjourney.
Yeah.
You've probably used some of these without even realizing it.
Yeah, I use ChatGPT all the time, actually.
There you go.
I find it super helpful for just like
It's a great tool.
getting past writer's block.
Absolutely. And those are all examples of generative AI.
So is that considered machine learning or deep learning?
Another great question.
They mentioned those in the documentary too, and I was a little fuzzy on those.
So machine learning and deep learning are kind of like different levels of sophistication within AI.
Okay.
Think of machine learning as like a horse-drawn carriage.
Yep.
It gets you from point A to point B.
Yeah.
But deep learning is like a supercharged car.
Okay, so it's like the difference between a bicycle and a Ferrari.
Exactly. Deep learning can handle much more complex tasks.
Got it. So deep learning is like the next evolution.
Right. It's like AI on steroids.
Gotcha. So it seems like we're kind of moving away from passive apps
Yeah.
and towards these active AI-driven experiences
You got it.
that are constantly learning and adapting.
Think about the difference between your bank app and your Instagram feed.
Okay.
Your bank app is pretty passive.
Yeah, I only go there when I need to check my balance or something.
Right. You go there when you need something specific.
Yeah.
But your Instagram feed is being curated by AI in real time.
Oh, wow.
It's constantly learning what you like.
It's scary how well it knows me.
Right. And it's trying to keep you engaged. That's what makes these platforms so addictive.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that actually leads perfectly into the next thing I wanted to talk about,
Okay.
which is this big concern that everybody has when it comes to AI,
Yeah.
which is job displacement.
Right. The robots are coming for our jobs.
That's right. A lot of people are really worried that AI is going to replace their jobs.
And it's a valid concern.
Yeah.
The documentary doesn't shy away from that at all.
Yeah. They address it head on.
They acknowledge that AI will definitely automate repetitive tasks.
Right.
And that will lead to some jobs being displaced.
Yeah.
However, they also make a really compelling case for AI creating new opportunities that require uniquely human skills.
Okay. So like what kinds of skills are we talking about?
Things like creativity, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, problem solving.
Oh, okay. So like
Stuff that robots can't do.
it's not just like robots are going to take over everything.
Exactly.
There's still going to be a need for human skills.
Absolutely. It's just a matter of adapting and evolving.
So maybe different skills than what we're used to?
Right. The key takeaway here is adaptability and continuous learning.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In this rapidly changing job market, it's more important than ever to stay ahead of the curve.
So what can people do? Like, how can they adapt? How can they stay ahead of the curve?
Well, think about your own career goals.
Okay.
What skills can you develop that complement AI rather than compete with it?
That's a good question.
It's about finding those areas where humans still have an edge.
I like that.
And leveraging those strengths.
Okay, now I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about some of the ethical challenges that the documentary brought up.
Okay.
There was this one scenario that they threw out there that I thought was really thought-provoking.
Yeah, the self-driving car dilemma.
Yes. Do you remember that?
How could I forget?
It's a classic.
It's like the trolley problem.
Exactly.
But for the AI age.
So a child runs out in front of a self-driving car.
Right.
Does the car swerve and potentially harm other pedestrians or stay on course and hit the child?
And it's like, who decides?
Right. It's a moral quandary with no easy answers.
Yeah, and it really highlights those complexities.
Absolutely.
That come along with AI. It forces us to confront some really uncomfortable questions.
So what other ethical challenges does the documentary explore?
Well, one of the big ones is bias in algorithms.
Okay.
If an AI system is trained on data that contains biases, guess what? It's going to produce biased results.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a huge concern, especially when it comes to things like hiring decisions or loan applications.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that AI is fair and doesn't perpetuate existing inequalities.
That's a really good point.
It's about building ethical AI from the ground up.
And what about data privacy?
Oh, that's another huge one.
I know a lot of people are worried about how AI is collecting and using our personal information.
And rightfully so. AI relies on massive amounts of data, and that data often includes very personal details about our lives.
Yeah.
So the documentary delves into the potential risks to our privacy and security in a world where AI is constantly collecting and analyzing our data.
It's kind of creepy when you think about it.
It can be, especially if that data falls into the wrong hands.
It's like Big Brother on steroids.
Exactly. It raises all sorts of Orwellian concerns.
Yeah. And it's not just about privacy.
Right.
There's also the question of who owns the rights to AI-generated content.
Ah, the intellectual property debate.
Yeah, if a piece of music or artwork is created by an AI, who owns the copyright?
That's a really tricky question.
These are questions that we don't really have answers to yet.
Right. It's uncharted territory legally and ethically.
So it seems like establishing clear guidelines for AI development and use is crucial.
Absolutely. It's not enough to just focus on what AI can do.
Right.
We need to be thinking about what it should do.
And who should be making those decisions.
Exactly. It's about setting ethical boundaries.
Now, one more thing I wanted to touch on is how the documentary emphasizes the crucial role of education in navigating this new AI era.
Oh, absolutely. Education is key.
Why is that so important?
Well, the documentary argues that our current education system, which was designed for the industrial age, isn't really equipped to prepare students for a world that's increasingly driven by AI.
So what needs to change?
Well, for starters, we need to move beyond rote memorization and standardized tests.
Yeah. I remember spending so much time in school just memorizing facts and figures.
Right, but that's not going to cut it in the AI age.
Yeah.
What's more important is critical thinking, problem solving, adaptability.
Yeah, being able to think for yourself.
Exactly. Students need to be able to analyze information, come up with creative solutions to complex problems.
And those are skills that aren't always taught in traditional schools.
That's right. We need to rethink the way we educate our young people.
And it's not just about what we teach.
Right.
It's also about how we teach.
Absolutely. We need to embrace new technologies and teaching methods that foster creativity, collaboration, and critical thinking.
So it's like a whole paradigm shift.
Exactly. It's about preparing students for a future that we can't even fully imagine yet.
Yeah, and that's what's so exciting and also a little bit scary.
Right. It's both exhilarating and daunting at the same time.
Yeah, so for all of you listening out there, I want you to just take a moment to reflect.
Yeah.
And think about how AI is already impacting your life.
It's all around us.
It is, and it's only going to become more so.
So the question is, are you ready?
That's a good question. Are you ready for the AI revolution?
Because it's happening whether we're ready or not.
That's right, and we're going to continue this discussion in our next segment.
Can't wait.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break.
We'll delve even deeper into the world of AI and explore what it means for the future of work, education, and society as a whole.
This is just the beginning.
It's going to be a fascinating ride.
So buckle up and join us as we continue to explore the ever-evolving world of AI.
See you soon. Picking up where we left off, this documentary made a really striking point about how AI is like fundamentally changing the nature of work itself.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They talked about how, like, we're moving away from that traditional 9 to 5 grind.
Exactly. Like instead of being cogs in a machine, we're moving towards a model where people are contributing their unique talents and insights.
Yeah, it's almost like everyone becoming an entrepreneur in a way.
Precisely. And this shift demands that we reevaluate our education system, right? The documentary argues that we should be encouraging more interdisciplinary learning.
I love that. It's about, like, connecting the dots between different fields.
Exactly, because AI itself is a multidisciplinary field. It draws on computer science, mathematics, psychology, linguistics, even philosophy.
Wow.
To effectively navigate an AI-driven world, we need to be able to think critically and creatively across all these different disciplines.
That's a good point. And I think one of the things the documentary did really well was featuring perspectives from people who are actually using AI in their work.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like all doom and gloom predictions.
Right. Those real-world examples were so compelling. Like we heard from artists using AI to enhance their creative process.
Oh.
Programmers using it to write better code, and even financial analysts using it to make more informed investment decisions.
I was particularly fascinated by the discussion of AI in marketing and advertising.
Oh, yeah.
The potential for personalization there is incredible.
It is like imagine ads that are perfectly tailored to your individual interests and needs.
That's kind of scary.
Right. It's a little creepy, but it's also incredibly powerful.
Yeah, it's like they know us better than we know ourselves.
Sometimes it feels that way, and as consumers, we need to be aware of how our data is being used,
Yeah.
and what influences are shaping our decisions.
The documentary also highlighted the importance of emotional intelligence in the age of AI.
Right, like AI may be able to mimic human emotions to some extent.
Yeah.
But it can't truly understand or experience them.
Right.
This is where humans have a distinct advantage.
So jobs that require empathy, compassion, interpersonal skills.
Exactly, those will always be in demand.
Like teachers, therapists, social workers.
Right, roles where human connection is at the heart of the work.
I like that. And in a world that's becoming increasingly automated,
Right.
the human touch becomes even more valuable.
Absolutely, it's what sets us apart.
It was interesting how the documentary pointed out that AI can actually, like, amplify existing societal problems too.
That's a crucial point. The documentary argues that AI isn't inherently good or bad. It's a tool.
Okay.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill.
Right. It depends on the humans behind it.
Precisely. If we're not careful, AI can exacerbate existing inequalities and create new ones.
Like, what kind of things are you thinking about there?
Well, think about the potential for AI to be used for surveillance and social control.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
It is, it's like that old saying, power corrupts.
Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely.
Exactly. And AI gives us a whole new level of power.
It feels like we're at a crossroads, right? We have this incredibly powerful technology with the potential to do amazing things, but also the potential to cause real harm.
Absolutely. And it's up to us as a society to decide how we want to use it.
Right. To, like, set those boundaries.
Exactly. The documentary emphasizes the need for thoughtful regulation and guidelines.
Yeah, like, we need to be having these conversations now.
Right now, before it's too late.
They even discuss the need for a digital Bill of Rights.
Oh, yeah. That was a fascinating discussion.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's an incredibly important conversation to have.
Yeah.
As AI becomes more integrated into our lives, we need to define what rights and protections we have as citizens in a digital world.
Like things like data privacy, algorithmic transparency, and freedom from AI-driven discrimination.
Exactly. Those are fundamental rights
that need to be enshrined in law.
Absolutely. We need a framework for ethical AI development and use.
It seems like in some ways, AI is forcing us to confront what it truly means to be human.
It is, what are the qualities that make us uniquely human? What are the things that AI can't replicate? These are questions that philosophers have been grappling with for centuries. But now they're taking on a new urgency in the age of AI.
And they're questions that we don't necessarily have easy answers to.
We don't, but we need to start asking them.
And having those tough conversations.
Because the answers will shape the future of our species.
One expert in the documentary said something that really stuck with me. They said, AI is a mirror. It reflects back to us who we are and what we value.
That's such a powerful statement. If we use AI to automate greed and exploitation, that's what we'll get more of.
Yeah, but if we use it to promote human well-being and solve global challenges,
right,
it can be a force for good.
The choice is ours.
And it makes me think about, like, the data that we're feeding these AI systems. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Garbage in, garbage out, as they say.
Exactly. So if we're training AI systems on biased data, they're going to produce biased results.
Right, and that's a huge challenge because bias can be so subtle and pervasive.
Yeah.
We need to develop better methods for identifying and mitigating bias in AI systems.
That's a really important point. The documentary also explored this concept of AI consciousness.
Oh yeah, that's a mind bender.
Is that something that we should be worried about?
Well, that's a topic that tends to spark a lot of debate.
Yeah.
The documentary presented a range of perspectives on AI consciousness.
Like what kind of perspectives?
Well, some experts believe that AI will eventually become conscious,
Okay.
while others argue that it's fundamentally impossible for a machine to achieve true consciousness.
Yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around.
It is. It's like trying to imagine a color you've never seen before.
It really is, and it raises all these profound questions.
Like, if AI does become conscious, what rights and responsibilities would it have?
Yeah.
How would we interact with conscious machines?
Would they be considered persons under the law?
These are questions that science fiction has been exploring for decades.
Yeah.
But now they're starting to feel very real.
Yeah, it's like science fiction is becoming science fact.
It is, and we need to start thinking about these questions now so that we're prepared for whatever the future holds.
That's a good point. The documentary also touched on the potential for AI to be used for, like, malicious purposes, like cyber attacks or even autonomous weapon systems.
Those are some scary possibilities.
It's like the Terminator scenario.
Exactly, and as AI becomes more powerful, it's crucial that we develop safeguards to prevent it from being used for harmful purposes.
Right, like we need to make sure that AI is used for good.
And not for evil.
Exactly. This requires international cooperation and a commitment to ethical AI development.
We need to be working together on this.
Now, shifting gears a little bit, the documentary also explored the role of AI in education.
Oh, yeah.
It seemed like there was a lot of excitement about the potential for personalized learning experiences.
Yes, AI can help tailor educational content to individual students' needs and learning styles.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
It is, and it can also provide real-time feedback and support.
So it's like having a personal tutor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This has the potential to revolutionize education, making it more engaging and effective.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But there were also some concerns about the potential for AI to, like, exacerbate existing inequalities in education.
All right, we need to make sure that AI in education is used to bridge the digital divide, not widen it.
Yeah.
This requires a commitment to equitable access to technology and high-quality digital learning resources.
So it seems like AI has the potential to be both a great equalizer and a great divider in education.
It's a double-edged sword. It all depends on how we choose to use it.
That's a good point. One of the experts in the documentary said something that really resonated with me. They said, AI is not the solution. AI is the amplifier.
Oh, that's a good one. What does that mean to you?
It means that AI can amplify both the best and the worst aspects of humanity.
Right. It all comes down to the choices we make.
The documentary seemed to be calling for a more human-centered approach to AI development.
Yes. It emphasized the need to prioritize human well-being and societal impact in the development and deployment of AI systems.
It's not just about technological progress for its own sake.
Exactly. It's about using AI to create a better future for all of humanity.
Now, the documentary also explored the concept of AI for good.
Yes, there are so many exciting initiatives underway.
Like, what kind of things are we talking about?
Well, AI is being used to develop new medical treatments.
Oh, wow.
To combat climate change, to improve food security, and to promote sustainable development.
It feels like AI has the potential to be this powerful tool for positive change.
It does, but it requires us to be intentional about how we develop and use it.
Yeah.
We need to ensure that AI is aligned with our values and that it's used to benefit all of humanity.
The documentary also emphasized the importance of collaboration.
Oh, absolutely.
In the development of AI.
We need to bring together diverse perspectives from across disciplines, including computer science, social sciences, and the humanities.
Yeah, like that.
This will help ensure that AI is developed responsibly and that it reflects our shared values.
It feels like we're at a pivotal moment in human history.
The decisions we make about AI now will have far-reaching consequences for generations to come.
It's a lot to think about.
It is, but it's also an incredibly exciting time to be alive. We have the opportunity to shape the future of AI.
Yeah.
And to use this powerful technology to create a world that is more just, equitable, and sustainable for all.
I love that. It's easy to get caught up in like all the what ifs and the potential downsides of AI.
Yeah, for sure.
But this documentary also did a really good job of highlighting the incredible upside.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The potential benefits are enormous.
Especially in areas like healthcare.
Huh.
Like imagine a world with personalized treatments.
Right.
That are tailored to like your unique genetic makeup.
Your specific needs.
Or AI-assisted surgeries.
With incredible precision.
Like that just blows my mind.
It's mind-blowing, and it's not just limited to healthcare.
Yeah.
The documentary showed how AI can be used to tackle really complex issues like climate change.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
AI can analyze those massive data sets,
Right.
and to model climate patterns, predict future impacts, and help us develop way more effective strategies to address the challenge.
And what about in agriculture?
Oh, huge potential there, too.
Yeah.
AI can optimize crop yields, reduce waste, contribute to a more sustainable food system.
Yeah, it feels like AI has the potential to unlock solutions to some of humanity's biggest challenges.
I think so, too. But we have to remember that AI is ultimately a tool.
Right.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. It all comes down to human intention and how we choose to use it.
That makes me think of something one of the experts said that really stuck with me.
What was that?
They said that AI is forcing us to, reevaluate what we value as a society.
Oh, that's interesting.
In a world where AI can automate so many tasks, we need to ask ourselves what happens to the concept of work.
Yeah, that's a big question.
What will we value in a world where traditional jobs might become obsolete?
It's a question we need to grapple with for sure.
It's almost like AI is pushing us towards a future where work isn't just about earning a living,
right,
but about finding meaning and purpose.
Exactly. Maybe AI can free us up to pursue our passions and contribute our unique talents in ways we haven't even imagined yet.
I like that. And speaking of imagination,
yes,
the documentary also touched on AI's potential in art and entertainment.
Oh, yeah, it was fascinating.
Think about AI as like a creative collaborator.
And it's already happening. We're seeing AI being used to create music, generate stunning visuals, even write poetry.
I've seen some of that stuff. It's pretty incredible.
It is. It's really pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and it raises interesting questions about what creativity really is.
Yeah.
And the role of artists in a world where AI can create too.
It feels like we're on the edge of a whole new era of art and creativity.
For sure. One where the line between human and machine is blurring.
So overall, I thought this documentary struck a cautiously optimistic tone about the future of AI.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
They acknowledged the risks, but also emphasized the incredible possibilities.
It's a powerful force.
With
the potential to reshape the world in profound ways.
Yeah, and it's up to us to guide its development and make sure it's used for the benefit of all humankind.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So I guess that brings us to our listeners.
Yes.
The documentary ended with this powerful call to action.
Yeah.
Urging everyone to join the conversation about AI and help shape its future.
We all have a role to play.
So what are some key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, I think the documentary really emphasized the importance of staying informed.
Yeah.
This is a field that's evolving so quickly, it's easy to get left behind.
Yeah.
So seek out reliable sources of information, be curious, and be open to learning and adapting.
And don't be afraid to ask questions. This is a complex topic. There are no easy answers.
Right.
So engage in conversations, think critically about the implications, and don't be afraid to speak up and advocate for responsible AI development.
Exactly. The future isn't predetermined. It's being shaped right now.
Right.
And every one of us has a role to play.
The future of AI is in our hands.
That's right.
Let's make it a future where technology empowers humanity.
Yes.
And helps us create a world that's more just, equitable, and sustainable for everyone.
Couldn't agree more.
So as you go about your day, consider this. How can you use AI to enhance your own skills and reach your goals? What steps can you take to stay ahead of the curve in this constantly evolving technological landscape? Remember, the future of AI is being written right now, and you have the power to be a part of that story. Until next time.
Thanks for listening, everyone.